Welcome back to Press Conference. Hello, this is Amanda. I'm so excited to recap Drag Race UK Season 7, Episode 3 with our very special guest, Drag Tea Served with Matt. We have so much fun talking about these new queens, find out that Matt is basically a boomer, and discuss the heavily debated line between costume and drag. But before we get started, I want to give a special shout out to our national press members, Willow and Starlight. Thank you so much for your support for the channel. And if you'd like to get shouted out at the beginning of our episodes, be sure to check out our channel membership program in the description of our YouTube below. And as always, be sure to stream our theme song, Pressed Conference by Amanda. Welcome back to Press Conference, everyone. We are back to talk about Drag Race UK Season 7, Episode 3. And I couldn't think of anyone better to come and talk about Drag Race UK than Drag Tea Served with Matt. Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me. I mean, when you said you can't think of anyone better, that kind of makes me feel sorry for the amount of people you must know that I'm like the best one.
You know, I was looking through the list. It was like, Niru, Bombay, Niru. Oh, the options are so limited. I gotta branch out.
Niru, anyone's going to be higher on that list. So
yeah, no. But how have you been enjoying this season of Drag Race UK?
To be honest, I would say, because I'm also reviewing it on my channel as well, like I do my Have Your Say videos where the audience vote and everything. If people have watched my channel, like all 10 of you who watch my videos, you'll know that I sort of do a similar thing to what you do, but probably not as good.
No, you actually prepare. We just kind of show up.
Well, I don't do much more than that, to be honest. But so I have been watching the season quite a lot, obviously. I feel like I like the queens and I think there's potential, but so far I have to be honest, and it's not, there's something that's not quite vibing for me at the moment. I think the queens are great, but maybe it's just that the challenges have been a bit lackluster and stuff. So I'm waiting to be a bit more impressed, shall we say. But I still like it, but it's maybe not as high as some of the other ones were.
I see. Yeah, it's a very interesting season. Like the vibes are a little bit different, and I'm curious if that's going to pay off or not. But speaking of like the vibes of the season, what did you think of the promo this time?
Oh, it was like kind of like with like jewels and gemstones and like fairies and stuff.
Yeah.
It was good, I think. I mean, it's better than some of the other. At least there was a theme to it. It was a little bit generic, but at least there's a theme, because some of the other ones have been a bit like guess the theme because there isn't one. Anything's better than the Down Under one that had the pirate theme or something.
That one, it happened, and I like to forget that it happened.
Bless them. Bless their little hearts.
Oh my gosh. So are you ready to hop into talking in depth about this episode?
I'm ready when you are.
So last week, just to give a small recap, Sally won the episode and Viola sent Pasty home. Do you agree with the placements, at least within like the winners and the eliminations of last week?
Yes, I think so. I'm trying to remember now. I feel like every week I do a complete memory wipe, but I remember Sally being great. I loved her. I mean, I can see it here. This is rather good. You've got this on screen. This is very good.
Thank you.
Very organized, much more than I am. So yeah, Sally was great. Pasty was also, I can see why she was in the bottom. So I think I did agree with it.
Totally. Let's get into the next day. So this week, the Maxi Challenge is the girl group challenge. The cast split into two groups to create the Hyper Pop Bop She Ate That. And they also had to come up with a chaotic choreography to go with their groups. This seemed to be very Charlie XCX themed. What did you think about sort of this incorporation of very like in the now trends with a classic or quote unquote classic challenge on Drag Race?
Did you prepare that? Are you reading this off somewhere? Because that was very good. That was very slick. That was very good. I like the hyper pop pop. There's something rhythmic to that. I like.
You know, I didn't come up with that. That was just a quote from the show. So shout out to the producers. Or Ru, I guess.
Okay, it shows how much I listen to the show. Okay, well, whoever wrote that, they ate that. To answer your question, yes, the Charlie XCX thing. Someone actually, when I did my video, sorry to keep plugging it, Drag T Serve at Drag T Serve with Matt.
Yes.
Someone did comment about this because I hadn't thought about it till afterwards. But yeah, this song, which we'll get onto in a minute, but I didn't actually really like the song that much. But it was very Charlie XCX coded, I think. Not being, and no shade towards Charlie XCX, but it was trying to be like her, but not as good. But I think it was nice that they were trying to do something a bit more current and they're trying to be like dang with the kids and cool, but I'm not sure it quite worked.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that it's hard because UK, I think, is known for having really great girl group bass, I guess, quote unquote, bass songs. So what like the queens will build on top of. So like UK Hun, you're never gonna beat that. That's just gonna be the one hit wonder. It's interesting to see their different takes. I think it's better than some of the other seasons in terms of being memorable. I think.
Name them.
Like I think having the elevated platforms. People at the club love an elevated platform, and it allowed for some cooler choreo. But like as I said, I'm like, I don't think it's the song. I think it's kind of the presentation was a little bit elevated compared to other seasons, and the camera work.
Yes, definitely the production value was a lot better, but the song itself, it didn't catch me at all. Whereas I feel like the other ones, I think this was trying to be really trendy and cool and more like on trend with music at the moment, whereas the other ones were just trying to be like pop bop type, like dumb. And I think that never goes out of style, so that's why they did well.
Agreed.
But this one, I think it just didn't catch me. But the production value was great. I agree.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But to get into these girl group challenges, Sally, who is the winner of last week's episode, and Viola, the person who got Deshante last week, get to pick out their teammates. So we get two groups, Hotline X with Sally, Bones, Celexa, Chai, and Elle, and Fallen Angels with Viola, Page 3, Terrace, Bonnie, and Naong Bella. And Katrin Feelings was the last person to be chosen. So she got to pick her group, and she went with Fallen Angels. So that is our lineup. What do you think of the names? Do you like them?
Like that. I mean, to be fair, on Drag Race, what can you do? Like, unless you have a funny name, it is quite hard. I guess it makes sense, like Fallen Angels, like with the @ symbol for the A, you know, like that kind of thing. And like Hotline X was kind of like, I think that name was more interesting than the other Fallen Angels, but yeah, they're okay. Like nothing to write home about kind of thing. But I'm trying to think of, wasn't one of them, was it the season 2? It was called the United Ken Dolls. Am I right?
Yeah, United King Dolls, I think. Yeah.
Like that's funny because it's like United Kingdom Ken, like there's a pun. It's interesting, but these ones were just like straight up names. Like they could be real names. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, no, definitely. This is such an iconic challenge. It's really hard to live up to the past.
That's true.
Yeah. One other question I had about this girl group, and I wanted to ask your opinion. So when the girl group challenge has multiple groups, I've noticed that in the United States, like the US franchise, usually if there's multiple groups, they do multiple different songs. They're usually very different. Whereas like a lot of the times on the international seasons, we see the same song being reused for different groups. Which production strategy do you prefer?
That is a very good question. Did you write that yourself, or was that?
I did. Those are all my words. Thank you. I didn't need a ghostwriter for that one.
I like that one. Yeah, now you've mentioned it. I think it's just, I honestly think it's probably a budget thing. They were like, yeah, we've got budget for one song and that's it. Whereas the US are like, money, honey. Like,
yeah.
So I think from a fairness point of view, it probably is a fairer comparison to have just one song, but it is more boring because it's the same song and like after it is boring. So I think I probably do prefer having multiple songs, even though it does make it harder to compare. Well, UK has done it before, but it was when they did the BDE, they did the slow version and the fast version, but it was effectively the same song. But maybe they should do that because it at least at least makes it a little bit different, because it is a bit boring when people do the exact same song and all they do is switch out the verses.
Yeah. No, agree. I like that instead of having like when I think of the same song being used a few times, I think of Bosom Buddies from Drag Race Down Under, and how like that felt like it was short, but hearing it 3 times is like a lot. And in my head, when I watched it, I was like, I really love the song. It's always stuck in my head, but I think I would prefer if it were 2 groups doing it. And then we got 2 groups this time, but the song was so long for each one, it felt worse than the 3 back to back.
Well, say what you really think, Amanda. Basically, it was crap.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the girl group was maybe too early in terms of length for a viewer to enjoy, especially with the way that they have to structure it.
100%. They've done this before, though. They like doing this with like massive girl groups, because also it's an uneven number, which is weird. They could at least have done it next week and then it would have been 2 groups of the same size, but they had an odd number, which is weird. So yeah, I agree. I think probably if you're going to have the same song, it needs to be shorter so it's not as boring.
Yeah, agreed. I'm glad we're on the same page. So let's keep moving. There was a guest judge, Nadine Coyle, and she joined the Queens before they entered the main stage to record vocals. She's from the group Girls Aloud. I'm not from the UK, so I did not know who she is. I was wondering, do you?
Of course I know who Nadine Coyle is. So she's from, so Girls Aloud, very famous girl group. Cheryl Cole, who maybe is better known in America.
No, that is, yes.
So that's the same group. So they were in a group. It was actually formed, I think, on one of these like pop, I think it was called Pop Idol, which is like X Factor or something back in the day, like early 2000s. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. They were like, so it was a formed band, but they have some great songs. Like they're a very big girl group here in the UK, or at least maybe in the, in the past, not as much now. But Nadine Coyle is super Irish. And they've done her on Snatch Game before last season. Charity did her. So she's known. One of the things is when she was on Pop Idol or one of those shows when she was really young, she was too young to be on the show at the time, because I think she was 16, and she lied about not having her passport with her to prove her age.
Oh my God.
And it's a famous, it's become a famous meme where she's like, my name's Nadine Coyle, born something of the 856, making me a Gemini. And she like completely lied because that wasn't her date of birth. And they're like, do you have your passport? She's like, oh, I think I should have it. And she obviously knew where it was. And she faked looking for her passport, knowing full well where it was. And it's become like a famous thing, which is why she said about the passport.
Oh my gosh. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
And then the wasp thing later on the main stage, which she was like, wasp. That's because she was on, I think it was I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, and or something like that. And there were wasps, and she said it, and it became a meme because she's just so Irish. Even Irish people find her accent like crazy because she's so Irish.
My gosh. That's a great explanation, because I was like, I don't know why Rue's laughing, but I guess that's just her sense of humor. So that makes a lot more sense.
Or Rue was just like told to laugh and had no idea.
Probably that. But these queens get to meet Nadine, and I love Nyong Bella, so I purposely chose this screenshot because I was like, love this diva. So after this, the queens split up and they start their choreography routines. There was an argument that arose between the 2 groups. So it was basically Page 3 versus Bones about their choreography. So the TLDR is Paige's style of doing the choreo for everyone. It was collaborative in the sense where every member got to create their own choreo, for example, for their verses, and then work around that. Whereas Bones would be collaborative in the sense that she was the one making the choreography for the whole thing, but the other members could input their visions, and she incorporated the visions into moves for the group. If you were competing with these girl groups, which strategy would you prefer for the choreo?
Well, given that I have 2 left feet, well, worse than whatever the opposite of that, like the worst version, I probably would be like, Bones, that's fine. Like, I'm fine for this to be not a democracy. This can just be complete dictatorship, because I would have no idea. I'd be happy with someone taking that over. I think if you're someone who has a little bit of knowledge, you probably would get annoyed if someone was just doing that. But for like a complete noob like me who has no idea, I would be like, yeah, Bones, please do it for me because I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm on the same page. I would choose Bones strategy. I have seen so many of these like productions, on the locals, the local level, at Play, they have their Halloween production, New Year's, Pride, etc. And it is one person creating the whole choreo, but the person that's creating the choreo knows the level of skill, and that some people are really skilled and some people they can serve on stage, but they can't take choreo very well. So they're able to come up with a really good balance. And when I heard that Bones was that person for their drag in, was it Soho? Soho, yes, it's geography. And I immediately knew, I was like, I trust that Bones is going to be able to make something that really works for everyone. And I had faith in Paige as well, but I just, from my own experience, I knew what was coming with Bones. I had nothing to be scared of.
It's like that thing of like too many cooks spoil the broth. Like you've got to,
right.
Sometimes you've got to just be like, let one person do it. It doesn't matter because at the end of the day, if we all look good, then it's fine. It's like better than arguing about it just because you want your like 2 seconds worth. It's in a thing like Drag Race, it moves so quickly. You've got to just like move on and just accept that you're not the star for that day. Someone else is going to do it, but it's going to look good.
Yeah, exactly. All right. As the queens are getting ready in the workroom, we start to see a showmance between Terrace and Katrin. They're being very flirty. What do you think about showmances?
I love this picture of the finger being. Sorry, that tickled me, my sense of humor. Showmances. This was I did not see this one coming because I feel like we'd never really seen those two interact that much. But like they seemed sweet. I never would have put them together. I don't know why. It's just something they just don't come across as people who I would have necessarily thought. But it actually seemed very sweet. And I noticed the other day that I think Katrin posted something like an out of drag photo on a bed, and Tayrus commented like something flirty. So like they're obviously continuing it. I don't know if they're just doing it for show, but I think it's kind of cute and it gives us something to talk about in the episode. So I'm all for it.
Yes, so cute and so out of left field as a viewer because they did not set this up for us to see coming at all. It came out of left field, out of nowhere. I could not believe it, but I'm happy. I love it.
They seem sweet, so go for it.
Absolutely. So here we have our two girl groups. We have our Hotline X. We have our Fallen Angels. Which group did you prefer?
Probably the second group, which was Hotline X, I think. So I also think because first of all, they were a smaller group. That's not really their fault or no one's fault, but they were just a smaller group. So there was less going on. But I think they were a bit more cohesive, probably because Bones was like, this is what we're doing, deal with it. So I probably preferred theirs. I think that would be that. What about you?
I also agree. I really liked Hotline X. I think there were some really strong hitting verses in Hotline X, as well as the choreo really high. Like they both incorporated the elevated surfaces, but they really shined in the blocking of the choreo for Hotline X. Like they gave moments for you to focus on, hey, we're using this prop you provided, and we're doing a little silly dance battle that incorporates a little bit of humor. And like that's the one that's going to stay in my memory, I think, when I remember the season and I remember this group challenge. But the other one was great as well. I think it's Drew was right in the judging where they were going to have to nitpick. Everyone was very impressive.
Well, either they were impressive or just like a lot of them were not that great because the song wasn't great. If I'm being totally honest,
I don't
want to be mean. I think they all were a good standard, but the song itself, which is not their fault, was just bad. So in my opinion, it was more like I don't think it wasn't one of the ones like in the previous seasons where you're like, oh my God, that verse was so good. And so like some of them definitely had good verses, but I agree that it's hard to pick, but I wasn't sure it was hard to pick for the reason that they gave. But that's me being overly harsh. But there were some very, very good verses in this. I just felt bad that the song was not to my personal taste.
Yeah. No, I also see what you mean though, because when you listen to these verses, like a girl group verse on Drag Race is always, my name's this, and then da, I'm gonna snatch the crown. And that's just not really the vibe of a Charlie XCX song. Like
No.
Charlie XCX style beat is like, I'm gonna go to the club and like it's not about like showing who you are, which is like what has always been described as the criteria for a girl group. So it didn't fit the package of a Drag Race girl group as well as I think it usually does with UK.
Yeah, this was trying to be too edgy. I think that's the slight issue they had. It was trying to be edgy. It was trying to be like Brat. Is that Charlie XCX? That's Brat. Okay. I feel like a boomer. I'm not a boomer, but in spirit I am. They were trying to do it, but it turned out to be, it wasn't Brat, it was crap. That doesn't rhyme, but it doesn't really rhyme, but there you go. It's the best I could come up with on the fly. I am wearing green though. So
me too. I honestly didn't even remember. I was just like, no, I'm just gonna throw this on for the episode, and then I was like, oh, Charlie XCX, we really pulled this one off.
Obviously, it was planned somewhere.
Yeah. All right, let's get into the runways. This week's theme was Cuddly Wuddly. On our podcast, our toot and boot is 8 or regurgitate. So 8 is good, regurgitate's bad. A shoot would be like a devour. And if you're really hung up and you want to give it like a toot, but you're like a little worried about it, you can give it a nibble. Basically, use whatever eating or not eating words you want to use. 8 and regurgitate are just the baseline, but you can use whatever you want.
Okay, fine. I won't remember any of that, but okay, thank you.
Okay, yeah. No worries. So first up, we have Bonnie and Clyde. What do you think? And do you give it an 8 or regurgitate?
I liked this. I would give it an 8. I licked the plate clean or whatever. Is that annoyed me about the song. Every single verse. I'm going off on a tangent here. Every single verse was like, and it's fair enough because it's called She Ate That, but every single verse was, I ate the plate, licked it clean, no crumbs. And I was like, oh my God, if anyone else says that. Anyway. But I would eat this. I like this. I think it's clean. It fits the theme. It's cuddly, monochromatic. I think always is a good option because it always looks good, pretty much. And the different textures make it not just like boring white. It's kind of like I like it. It's an 8.
I agree. I give this an 8. I think it's one of the stronger looks of the night. It's so elegant, so beautiful. It can't really go wrong, like you said, with monochromatic. And I love the like incorporation of a sort of a puffer moment with these looks.
Any puffy sleeve is I'm puffy, whatever. I'm down for a good puff.
Next, we have Katrin Feelings.
So I personally liked this one. But then on my video, when I said that, some people did not agree with me. So I can see in a way I think some people thought it was very costumey, and that's kind of, we'll get onto it a bit later, but that's very much the word of the day in this episode because of some other runways. I personally enjoyed it because I got that it was Cats, the musical, straight away because the makeup, and I think she actually did a good job. But I guess the outfit itself maybe is not as elevated. I think I'd still give it an 8 though, just because I love Katrin so much. So I have a soft spot. But I do agree it's not like the best of the night or anything.
I think it's tough. It's tough.
Just regurgitate. That's what you're going to do.
Regurgitate. Like if I'm hesitating, I can't give it an 8. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Katrin is such a cute narrator for this season. I really have been loving getting to watch them on the show. Same with Nyong Bella. I feel like they both give me the humor and the sassiness I need. I think I don't love the hair. And I don't know. It wasn't for me, but I'm glad that you appreciate it. I'm glad you like it.
I like it because it looks like Cats the musical, but I guess it's verging into costumey. I will agree.
Yeah. For me, it's giving Cats the musical, the movie.
That's what I said in the video. I did say like that weird CGI one. I think it's not as creepy as that one is, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's I guess it's in the ballpark.
Next, we have page 3.
I also I would say I quite liked this. I think it fits the theme, and I thought the judges were kind of a bit harsher about it. It to me very much gave I think she said Anna Nicole Smith, and that like the big blonde hair that very much was the vibe. Just woke up in my bed sheets or whatever. I personally thought it was fine. Nothing massively special, but good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I give it an 8 as well. I really enjoyed seeing this on the runway, and I also was kind of like, why are we dogging on this look, Michelle? Like maybe we've seen it before, but I feel like we don't see it that often. It's no Marie Antoinette level repetition.
Yeah,
I liked it. I thought she looked like a beautiful angel sleeping on her pillow.
I will say the makeup. I don't know if it was deliberate, but there was a lot of. It was very white, particularly around there, and in some of the zoom in shots, because they kept zooming in on her every time they said something nice about Bones later on. They kept zooming in on Paige being like, she hates her, but she did have the makeup was maybe not as seamless. I don't know if that was deliberate, but that was the only thing I can think of as maybe why they didn't like it.
I see. That's a good point. I wonder, because not to get into the nitty gritty details, but I'm going to do that. She had the sleeping mask, and it started all over her eyes and flipped up. And I was thinking in my head, I wonder how this is constructed so it's not actually like a sleeping mask. Because if that were the case, the makeup would be everywhere, no matter how much you set it. And I noticed there were little notches like here. So it's like, okay, there's probably like at least a couple centimeters of distance between the eyes and the mask. But then still, it was like very powdered. And I was like, I don't know if she's trying to go for that very like highlighted look underneath the eyes, because that is like a big thing, or if she's really trying to set the makeup just in case something touches so nothing smudges off, or both. Not really sure.
I mean, either way, we both liked it, so I guess that's kind of all I can say about it, really.
Yeah. Next, we have Nyan Bella.
So personally, I liked this. Like in this photo that you've chosen, are these the official photo? Yeah, these are the official photos.
It is, and I chose this so we wouldn't get demonetized.
They're very like high quality, and I remember seeing them on Instagram. I think this is a very nice version of the look. I think if you actually watch the episode, personally, I wasn't a massive fan of the reveal just because it didn't reveal to anything particularly special, other than she has a great body and she did look good, but it was just basically a bra and panties kind of. And I liked this. I wish she had just stayed in this, and then I would have said it was an 8, but because of how it looked later on, and even Rue said it was like puckering because of the reveal where she kind of unfurls, it didn't go together later on, so it was kind of like half open. Unfortunately, I would have to regurgitate it because of that.
I see.
But not in this particular screenshot is actually very nice. So it seems weird to say that, but if you look at the episode, you can see it doesn't look as good as this the whole time, unfortunately.
Yeah. I think overall, just because we had to have a reveal first, I think like overall it's a nibble, but I think like the beginning for me is a regurgitate, but then like an 8 once it was revealed. I don't know. It averages out to nibble. And maybe it's my bias showing, because she's kind of my favorite right now.
I do as a person. Sorry.
Yeah.
As a person, I do love her. She's like so sweet. She's one of my favorites. But
absolutely. But we got to differentiate like our loving them as like the queen versus the runway, and so because of that, I have to.
As Latrice Royale said on season 4, do you remember when Latrice on season 4, she was talking about Sharon, and she was like, when we come onto the runway, we strive for perfection. And if I came out with a busted hem or a broken whatever, I would have my ass handed to me. So why is someone... And it's kind of true. You can't... Just because you like someone or someone's like kooky or whatever, you do have to also hold them to the same standard. So
exactly. Yeah. So that's that. Here we go. Here's a controversy of this week. We have Viola in what was critiqued as a costumey look?
So the reference for this, as I found out later, and they did mention in the episode, but I had never heard of this, was Five Nights at Freddy's, which is
Oh my
apparently
God.
a
Okay,
video
boomer.
game. I'm sorry, I've never, is it a video game? I've never heard of it in my entire life.
Yes. It's a huge franchise, the video game. They even had a movie of it. They're coming out with another movie. It's huge. It's like Chuck E. Cheese, but haunted.
I'm gonna blame it on the fact that I'm just gonna say we don't have it in the UK, regardless of whether this is a UK drag race. I'm just gonna claim ignorance as a foreigner.
Yeah.
I'd never heard of it. I like video games, but I've never heard of this particular one. I mean, I'm just like a Mario Kart kind of girl, but
Yeah.
I did not get that reference at all.
Mhm.
Even once they said I had to Google it, no idea. But it's verging into costumey, yes, but it is executed well. But would I want to? Is it to me a great look? I'm not sure, because if you have to explain a reference, and even then, a lot of people won't get it. And I feel like a lot of people might not know that video game. I don't know, but if you have to explain the reference, it's not a good reference. So personally, for me, it's a regurgitate, but it is well made. I will say it's a well made look.
Yeah. I think it's tough. I think I also have to give it a regurgitate, just because I have hesitation to give it an 8. Like, it is well executed, but I think a person who perfectly towed the line between costume and drag when it came to like this sort of animal application in general, like the standard, I think, is Simone's look with the foxtail.
Yes,
do you remember that?
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was really good. Yeah,
Where you're literally like an animal. But another good example from this episode is Elle Vosk being the pink poodle without being explicitly the pink poodle. And, so for me, I do side on that it is more costumey. I understand that it's more fitted. It does give a figure, but it is like...
It's a bit cosplay. It's a bit... That, which is fine. It's good cosplay, but... Yeah, just not like... It's not... Yeah. But it opens up, as I think Viola has said in all of her exit interviews, it opens up an interesting discussion about what is and isn't drag, and where's the line. Everyone's got their own personal taste. So...
Yeah.
Not for my personal taste, but it is a well-made look, and it's fun if you know what Five Nights at Freddy's is, which I do not.
Yeah. So in the critique of this look, RuPaul said that, in his words, some could say all drag is cosplay, but if it was more drag, then Ru would have accepted it. So where do you personally, as a viewer and a fan of drag, draw the line between a costume and drag when you're looking at something, whether it's local or like on this runway?
I think for me, I mean, obviously, I think in the olden days, a lot of people associated drag with female impersonation. I think that has evolved over time, which is good. Like, I think drag is very subjective, as they always say, and drag is art, and art is subjective. That's what Dracula always says, I think.
Yeah.
So for me, I think it has to still look kind of like clothing, at least, or some form of this to me looks more like a onesie outfit that you would wear for cosplay, whereas Simone's, as you said, the fox look, or even like someone who did, like when they did on the most recent US season, Arietti did the fish look, and her look, because it looked like a fish, but it was still clothing.
Right.
She didn't dress as an actual fish. And if you do that, I think if you have the entire outfit as the thing itself, it can look costumey. Whereas if it's just clothing with an essence of it, then that to me is where the line is. And whereas this is very much in that looks like a bear costume you would buy from a costume shop, but just a very yassified version, a bit horror. But that's to me where the line is.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. Like, they mentioned how, let's say, we'll talk more about this look later, but Bones, for example, also had something that was a little more abstract. She was the blanket underneath the bed that has gotten stained and no one wants to touch it. But again, that does feel fashion-y.
Yeah.
In a sense, it still feels sort of runway. It is towing the line closer to costume, but it's still, I think, on like the fashion side of things. And so, yeah, I agree. Arietta's a great example of how Ariette, the Elvox looks this week. You know, it's got to give clothing, I think, or like it's got to give, like you would see this on a runway, whether it's a very basic runway or a very abstract one.
Yeah, this to me is not runway; it's cosplay, but but good cosplay, but not
very good. This would eat at Comic-Con.
Exactly, that's exactly what this would be good for. But on the main stage of Drag Race, maybe not to my personal taste, but good for her.
Mm-hmm. All right, next we have Tayris. What do you think?
Sorry, not for me. I love Tayris. Thought she was one of the best this week. Really don't like this, unfortunately. It's just, I think the way I saw it was too puffy and big at the top and not much at the bottom. So it made her just like gave slightly odd proportions. And yeah, it's a bit of a shame because she looked amazing in the challenge. She did such a good verse. I think she's so fun. Not for me, unfortunately. So this would be a regurgitate.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have to agree as well. I have to give her regurgitate. But I'm so glad that she's safe and we get to see her again next week because I did not want her to leave.
Love her, but do not like this outfit. Yeah.
Yes. Next, we have Elle Busk in her pink poodle look. What do you think?
Loved it. This was one of my favorites of the night. I thought this to me was drawing the line of she's dressed like a dog, sort of, but she's only got elements of it. So the hair obviously is like poodle, big thing, and she's got the bone like handbag or whatever you want to call it. I think you guys call it a purse in America.
Oh yes, a purse.
We would call it a handbag. Your purse is what is your wallet, like a woman's wallet. That's what a purse is.
Really?
Yeah, so a purse doesn't have a handle, like it's just the wallet itself in the UK.
Got it.
So this would be a handbag because it's holding it with your hand. But anyway, so this is drawing the line that it's dog inspired, but it's still clothing and it's not a dog outfit. Loved it, loved the proportions, loved the color. I thought she rocked it. So yeah, definitely this was a 8.
Yes. I'm going to give this to my devour. Like this is my shoot basically.
Okay, I can see
really
I'm saving mine, but I can see it.
Okay. Yeah. I'm a sucker for pink. I can't lie. Like I love to see pink. And this was just so well executed. I think this is the best pink poodle look I've seen across the franchises that I've watched, honestly. Like in the interpretation of it. I think that for me, pink poodle can become not cringe. Chuggy seems like a weird word to say, but like it doesn't fit my taste all the time, but this is like a way that it incorporated that sort of that vibe of pink poodle, but still being cute and elevated. So I really liked it and modern. Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Okay, now we got to talk about Sally. I want to know your thoughts. And I want to ask the question, do you think that this is more costumey than Viola?
So in my video, because I'm only saying because I literally recorded it like the other day, so it's fresh in my mind. I said I think I gave this like an okay kind of thing, but someone in the comments did say, "How isn't this costumey just like Viola's?" And actually, I was like, to be fair, I mean, someone was like, "You're not being very consistent." I was like, "Have you ever watched my channel before?" It actually is a fair point. Looking at it with fresh eyes again, this is costumey. This is. I think the only slight difference is that firstly, I thought she was a monkey as well when I first saw it. And she said it on the runway, it is a little bit monkey-ish without the tail. There is just something slightly unnerving about it because it's slightly uncanny valley-ish. I don't know. It's not to my personal taste, so I think I will have to agree this is probably just as costumey. Maybe not quite as costumey because I think it's a little bit more abstract. That it could be a little bit more fashion, but it's not to my personal taste. So I will have to say this would be a nibble / going towards regurgitate, that kind of area.
Yeah, I agree. I am gonna give it. I guess I'll give it a nibble. I think the uncanny valleyness of it makes it really cool. Like I really like that for my taste. I'm like, that's cool. I like weird stuff. But I agree. I thought it was the monkey doing this with the symbols, like the little toy that you get when you're a kid. And so I was like, bear? Where? But
Not a
I
bear.
agree.
Not a bear at all.
No, I think that this is still a costume. And I think that just being safe allowed Sally to escape that critique. But I would say it's a fashiony costume
It's
because
more
it's got
fashiony
like
than Viola.
artsy elements, the fabric choice and like the way it's presented.
It's bordering on at least being slightly fashionable because it's a bit unusual, but it is in essence almost like a onesie, a bit like Viola's, but it's just not quite as trying to be an animal. It's a little bit more abstract, but still not the best. On reflection,
Yeah.
I think whoever commented that on my video, if you're watching this video also, if you're not fed up of talking about this episode at this point, then I agree with them. Actually, this is probably just as costumey. Maybe it's like a little bit less.
Yeah. Still costume. And next we have Bones. What do you think of this?
This, I enjoyed it because it's just so weird. Someone in the comments did say that it looked a bit like a foreskin, and I can't unsee that now. Like a mangled one. I'm sorry to bring the tone of this channel down. But yeah, so I actually quite liked this though because it's weird. I don't know what I'm looking at, but the way she presents it, the physicality, the fact that I guess it is slightly costumey looking at it because it is kind of a similar like onesie, but because it's got the ruffles and the way it's styled makes it different. I can actually see this going down some like weird runway for one of these like, is it like Balenciaga that always do like really random stuff?
Yeah.
Like that sort of, I can kind of see them doing something just really weird and random, a bit like this. So I personally would give it an 8.
Yes. I also give this an 8. I like weird things, as I've said before, and this is done weird but tastefully. You know what I mean? I've been very, very impressed with Bones' runways so far. I know we've only seen a few, but I've really, really liked them. And what I like is I had no impression of Bones before this season. Like, I'm a little out of the loop. I didn't know about like being related to Crystal and the reputation they had, or even what their drag really looked like. But like based on like the impressions of like how they speak about fashion and things like that, I was expecting a very gorgeous but not like edgy sort of style. So I've been loving her take on it. Like, this looks really cool and it's very different. And I mean, last week we saw her bow look, and I was obsessed with the bow look. I was like, that is giving like my Barbie cake that I had when I was like 6. But then it had the contacts, like the fully black contacts, to make it a little edgy. So it's been really, really cool to see Bones' aesthetic. And I mean, if the contacts weren't there, she could just pull off being a pretty girl, but she gets to add that like edge. It's really cool. Sorry, I'm off my soapbox now, but I'm a Bones stan now.
I know, I agree. I think Bones is, although she's maybe a little bit more reserved, I think she's more reserved than I thought she might be, because she is coming in with a big name behind her, and she's very like in the Soho scene. She's like talking about she's very well known, works all the time. I did think she was going to be a slightly stronger, like more vocal than she is, but I think she lets the drag do the talking for her, because this is very unusual but done well. So I agree.
Yeah. Very fun. All right. And next we have Chai. What do you think?
So I loved this. I think this would be my devoured. Is that what we say? Personally, just because I loved the little shimmy she did when she was like tittering down the runway on her, like that was really fun. I love that this to me is giving the most cuddly waddly. Like, it actually fits the theme, because it just looks like a giant ball of yarn or something, like it's just, or like a sleeping bag, but kind of really bulky and stuff. The color is lovely. She presented it really well. So this personally was my favorite.
I also really, really liked this look. Like, this is a 8, like a high 8 for me. I love the color, like Rue said. I love the fabric and the way that it, like, some of it, like, it's that sort of fabric where some of it looks a little darker than others, and you can see a texture on it without it being too like in your face. And it was so, so cute. I cannot believe that with her performance in the Maxi Challenge and this runway that she was in the bottom 3. That was very confusing for me. But whatever. She was safe.
She should not have been in the bottom. Like, she did really well in the challenge. Maybe she wasn't, her verse was really good. Maybe she kind of faded into the background a little bit, but with this look and a really good verse, she should have been safe over some other people. Like Sally, for example, should have been in the bottom.
Because, like, when I think about this challenge, not to keep going on, but like, I remember people, like, I don't remember exact specific names. I should have wrote it down, but I was like, no, I don't want to call them out too hard. But I saw people messing up choreo, and they made it where you could see that they were messing up the choreo, or like a little stumbly, but those people were safe. So it was interesting.
You can say Sally. I love Sally. Sally is honestly one of my favorites. This is Sally. If you're watching, love you. Like, genuinely, I love Sally. But she should have been in the bottom this week. She had a not so great look, and her performance was one of the worst. So anyway, but I love Chai Tea Grande. Also, the name is just hysterical, Chai Tea Grande.
Yes. And here we have Celexa. For the viewers, we're showing the front because that's the official picture, but the back was like a very neon acid trip bear.
Yeah, this one, when I immediately saw it, and I said this in my review, to me it was kind of giving. Do you remember on All Stars when Jimbo was on All Stars and she did the Adam and Eve and she walked to make it look like she was one and then turned around, Adam and Eve? This was kind of giving like a similar concept, but not as good. Her body looks great, and I think it's a fun idea, but I didn't get the storyline from it until she sort of said it. I think I'd give it like a nibble though, because it's well made and it's executed decently, but it's not something I'm going to remember personally. Whereas Jimbo's look, I will remember that.
Oh my God, that really is iconic. Like, that look, it has that element of surprise, like Jimbo specifically, where you're not exactly sure what you're going to, like, I guess that when you do know something is coming because she's walking backwards, but it was such a dramatic reveal. Very, very cool, very unexpected. And like, sort of similarly along the lines of when Lady Camden fell on the runway and then came back up with the mustache, or just like a gotcha moment. This one, I knew this was coming, like, because she's walking backwards in a Teddy thing, and I'm like, she's gonna be in the back, like, okay. But it was still really, really cool though, and so for me, I still want to give it an 8 because I really like how it looks. Like, the visuals of both sides were very pleasing to me, but I totally can see and side with you on how it's not the strongest sort of reveal that we've seen in history.
No, but I mean, it was fine. It was perfectly fine, but I won't remember it necessarily.
All right. So our winner of the challenge is Bones. Do you agree?
Yes, definitely. I was either her or Page 3, but I think because Bones basically choreographed her entire group, and she probably had a slightly better performance because you could tell what elements she had put into it, and I really liked her look more so than Page 3's. I think, although Page 3 was good, I liked Bones's more. So yes, I think I agree with Bones winning.
Yeah, me too. Choreography and blocking was cleaner. Her performance was amazing. Runway, the only other person she had to beat really at this point was with Runway with Paige, like you said, and I think she cleared. So I'm very happy with this win. And the bottom two were Viola and Nyong Bella. Do you agree with these placements? I think I know you're going to say no.
Maybe I should say yes, just to kind of like, switch it up. No, I don't agree. Personally, if I had to switch them out, I probably would have switched Nyong Bella for Sally because, I mean, it kind of comes down to, it sounds like maybe a bit mean, but in some ways, from what we've seen of Nyong Bella, she has been in the bottom probably like most every week so far. Like, she was almost in the bottom for the design challenge, but arguably she should have been maybe. So I don't think she's going to win unless she really does like something to turn it around. So would it matter if someone's not? But I think in a fairness point of view, I think Sally was saved because I think they want to push her as a front runner a bit more than Nyong Bella. And I do think, so I would have switched Nyong Bella for Sally personally.
Yeah. This, for me, the critiquing and the way they did some of these placements, other than I would say like Paige and Bones being in the top, was very odd for me because, obviously with Drag Race, there's no set rule for the UK franchise in the US and most of them, except for like maybe Drag Race Thailand, on how much one thing counts versus the other. And so for me, it felt like sometimes they were counting the runways a lot stronger than the challenge, the verses for some people. And then for some people, the verses counted more than the runway for others. So it was interesting for me because I think that like in another world, Viola could have been safe. Like, and because I think her verse was strong, but then, the runway wasn't great, but I don't know. It was weird for me. I think you could really argue a handful of people being in the bottom.
I want
Um,
names, darling. I want names.
all
Who's
right, so
going?
Sally,
Who's
of course,
okay?
and then let's see who all was in this. Like people that let's just go by people I don't remember in the challenge. Celexa, don't remember her verse. I don't remember Bonnie's.
Mm,
I really liked Elle's runway, but I don't remember Elle's.
no.
And I just remember Sally messing up the choreo. So it's like, in terms, I guess from the viewer standpoint, maybe things are cut so we remember some people more than others.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was just like, it was weird. It was weird, but whatever. I feel like I argue every time.
I think they just disliked Viola's look so much that they were like, she's got to be in the bottom, which is kind of a bit like, well, does the runway count or does it not? Because usually it's not as weight. And I did like Viola in the challenge. I thought she had an okay verse, but I think they just clearly were like, RuPaul was obviously like, I hate this look. You're in the bottom. I think that's kind of how it went.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. So Nyong, Bella, and Viola lip sync to Sound of the Underground by Girls Aloud. So you know about this group. Do you know this song? Was this really popular in the UK?
Oh yeah, this was I think their first song. I think I might be wrong. I don't. Any Girls Aloud aficionados, don't come for me. I think this was their first song, or at least their first big one. Yeah, this was a big song, and it still is a big song. Like especially in like the gay clubs, or just clubs in general, but especially the gay club. Girls Aloud is quite like in the gay clubs. They play a lot of their songs. So I 100% knew this song. Yeah.
Okay, they're like y'all's Fifth Harmony.
Yeah, actually, yeah, it's like they're like an older version of Fifth Harmony. I think I actually know more of Girls Aloud than Fifth Harmony. I know Fifth Harmony, but I would know more of Girls Aloud songs than Fifth Harmony.
No, that's fair. I feel like they seem to be more iconic. Like I think Fifth Harmony is really big for like people in the age range of like 19 to maybe 26, 27 in America.
And I am obviously within that range of the lower
Yeah.
end. You know,
yeah. You're so young and youthful.
Yeah, maybe mentally speaking, but physically not as much. But
so what did you think of this lip sync? Do you think there was a clear winner? Do you agree with the winner? What are your thoughts?
I do agree that Nan Bella won. I also feel like Viola was a disadvantage because she was dressed as a weird bear. Like I do feel a bit sorry for her in that sense because it just did not match the song, but that's also her fault for bringing this outfit, and she would have known that's what's going to happen because there's not really a song unless the song is like, if you go down to the woods today, you're sure for a big surprise. This is not going to go with any other song.
Yeah.
So I did feel bad for her in that sense, but I think Nyan Bella captured the mood more. Her body was like on point, like it was very sexy, the movements and everything. So it was kind of vibing a bit more with the song. So yeah, I definitely agree that she won.
Yeah, I agree. Poor Viola did not stand a chance with this song. I was thinking in my head, I was like, if there is a song that would give both of them a fair shot, you probably don't know what I'm talking about, but I think Calling All the Monsters by China Anne McClain would have given a fair battleground for this lip sync. Do you know what that is?
No.
It's so like, I think outside of America, it's so niche. It was a Disney Channel song by this girl named China Anne McClain. She was the star of a Disney Channel show for kids. And during Halloween, they released this single and they played during the commercial break like every time. So every kid knew it. and people still love it. And it's like a Halloween song, obviously. They're both dressed kind of spooky, like with the lighting in the background that we see. So I'm like, oh, that could have worked.
Okay, yeah, maybe, yeah. I think it would have had to have been a really weird song.
Yeah.
To make it, yeah, like maybe like This Is Halloween, or one of those like weird songs. Something just so weird, then it would have been an even playing ground, maybe. But yeah, this poor Viola.
Yeah, I felt so bad. So Viola sachets away.
This is a great screenshot.
Thank you. Do you agree with this overall elimination? Do you think she should have gone further? Do you think this is the right stopping point for Viola? What are your thoughts?
Based on track record, I do think, although I agree that Niall Bella won the lip sync and she shouldn't have been in the bottom, of the two of them, she has been in the bottom end every episode, basically. Whereas Viola, well, I think Viola, I thought she was going to go further than she was, because I did think she had more to offer. But given the performance and the lip sync and everything, I think the decision was fair. But I did envisage her going further than she did.
Yeah.
Especially because she was bringing the drama as well. She was like the villain, sort of.
I was expecting her to go further as well. I think in terms of her performance for this Maxi Challenge for the girl group, I thought it was a significant improvement to me. And though the runway was costumey, I also did think it was a big improvement from last week. I thought I was seeing growth. But I guess in the terms of lip syncing, that was where I didn't really see an improvement. And that's not really something you can like really improve over time on the show. I don't think that's something you are like, you have the practice from, performing at your bars at home before getting there. So unfortunately, yeah, I think in terms of lip syncing, I kind of figured she wasn't going to survive past here, but I am really sad to see her leave. I think she still had some more in her, but also I didn't want to see Niall and Bella leave either. So
it's difficult. I don't want to see any of them leave, but we've got to get them out. So it's, you kind of have to be cutthroat. So I think the decision was fair, but I was a bit surprised she left this early.
Yeah, agreed. So that marks the end of this episode. Who is your top 4 for this season so far?
Top 4. So I think it's going to be Bones, Page 3, and then I'm trying to think if I'm forgetting someone, but the people I'm thinking of that come to my mind, I think I could see Tayrus maybe going far, but she might be a bit like a Taste in the sense of some of her runways aren't as good, but she's like really fun and like she's very much the dancer, and like I can see her going far because of that side of it. But I do think someone like Sally, if she continues doing good runways and stuff, if it's not so many dance challenges, she could go far. And then Catherine, because of the like, she's like so funny and charismatic. That's 5, I know, but that's gay math for you.
Yes.
You asked before I gave you 5, but
no, yeah, math is open to interpretation on this channel. I guess top 4 of people I see realistically making it that I enjoy: Katrin, I think Bones, Katrin, Bones. I think honestly, I think I could see Elle going quite far. Elvosk. And I guess
Page 3?
Between Page 3 and Sally.
Yeah.
Because it just depends on how many how heavy it's going to lean one way or the other for the type of challenge. Because, every year you might have a comedy heavy one or a fashion heavy one or like a girl group or like vocal heavier season. So I guess it depends. It's so early, it's hard to call.
Yeah.
I guess maybe Paige might be a better all-rounder, but who knows? Sally might be hilarious in the challenges.
Yeah, I feel like we've kind of named the same sort of people. Like, even though there are some queens I really love, like Chai T Grande, I think was unfairly judged this week, but something from what we see, maybe just because she's so quiet, I think I just can't see her going to the end, even though I really like her. But I just can't see it.
Yeah, my shout out's Chai. I love Chai. Nyong Bella, an icon. I love everything she says on that show. They need to keep her around, or I'm going to be very sad. But we'll have to see.
We will.
But yeah, I'm excited to see what happens. But thank you so much for joining me this week and talking about the episode.
Thank you for having me. It's been lovely.
Of course. Near's not here, so I can be like genuine and sincere and stuff. And like I was so looking forward to you coming on this show. We were on here one time before. I forget what episode we were recapping, but you gave such good insight and like opinions and ideas and critiques about the show that I feel like I don't see often, like when we do this podcast. So it was so fun and like interesting to get to talk to you again. So I'm so glad you joined us.
Oh, thank you. That's very kind. I mean, I usually don't provide any insights. So, I'm glad that someone is finding it fun.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Let's give a moment to shout out all your different ventures, your handles, things like that you want to let the people know about here on the podcast.
So you can find me on YouTube's my main platform. It's Drag Tea Served, or Drag Tea Served with Matt is the full name, but the handle is Drag Tea Served. I'm pretty sure I'm at Drag Tea Served everywhere on any platform you can find me on. So go and check that out. I do episode reviews a bit like this, but like I said, probably not as good. Certainly not with this lovely setup. You've got all these like pictures and flying things. I have to do all of that myself afterwards. It's not as good. And I also do like more gossip, secrets, and drama is more where I live in it rather than just reviews. So yeah, if you fancy any of like my not so good takes and some drama, go and check out Drag Tea Serve with Matt.
Yes, you better go subscribe, go follow everywhere. He is truly the person to get the tea from.
Thank you.
And with that, we will see you all next week for our next UK recap. And be sure to check out our Slasian Royale finale that will probably pop up this weekend with Be Like Boy, aka Matt, and Drag Detective, aka Derek. But yeah, we'll see y'all next week. Bye.
Bye.